We are near Kennesaw, Nebraska Soybean Management Field Days 2018 going on. Loren Giesler joins us, plant pathologist. And before we get into what we talk about today, first, congratulations, Loren. Promotion in just a few weeks. You're going to head up the department.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, Ken. So that's something that we've got a lot of great faculty in our plant path department, and really looking forward to heading up that group.
All right, you and I have talked for a number of years at these events. The topics may change a little bit, but still there's challenges every year.
Every year, and our soybean farmers some of the things are, it's just kind of a repeat many times, but they're continuing and becoming more and more important all the time, because as we continue to grow beans, we have more and more diseases that track those, and we're going for high yields, and we've got to get control of all of them.
So what are you talking about this year?
Well, so this year we've got a few things, and the big thing is cover crops that we're talking about and focusing on. So we have some different studies set up to look at seed treatment effects with cover crops, termination timing, which is always a big thing to do that. And then the other part is we're spending a lot of time right now on stem and root rots, which we do every year at this time, because this is when they show up. And for all those stem and root rots, variety selection is number one. So identifying them correctly now, keeping records on what's going on in the field, and then selecting those varieties for next year.
Weather this year has been a challenge, but much of the state has had some late rains. They're getting late rains, or they haven't gotten rain at all.
Yeah, so, and because of that, we've got, around the state different pockets of different things. So, early on we saw a lot of Phytophthora. We get a heavy rain event now, we'll see more Phytophthora. Early on we had some cool wet conditions that really favored early season infection from things like charcoal rot, fusarium wilt, sudden death syndrome. So now we're starting to see the results of that. So we're also seeing more fusarium wilt as a result of some of that this year.
We'll talk about cover crops. Cover crops, have been in and out. I guess they're back in again. Are we changing that blend? And does that mixture make a difference? Going then into the next year?
Well, I wouldn't say right now that we know that it doesn't necessarily makes a difference. The things that we're looking at here, Ken, we've got cereal rye, and then we've got a wheat cover crop. Some people want to evaluate that, and then we've got a no cover. And so doing that with different seed treatments and looking at the effects on stand and then overall population to translate into yield. And so many times when we look at these studies, we'll see an effect on stand, no effect on yield. So, we've drilled these down to where we're in that 120,000 planting population, which is the university's recommendation now, which is a lot lower than a lot of guys are putting in the ground out there. So that's what we're doing at these sites, though.
Okay. So sudden death syndrome is something we've always talked about for a number of years also.
Well, that's true, and along with sudden death, we're seeing more and more of that, and cool, wet soils favored that. The other part of that is cyst nematode. So cyst nematode can really make that worse, and many of our diseases worse. So we still have the soybean cyst nematode sampling program at Nebraska that the soybean checkoff funds through checkoff dollars. So really encourage all of our farmers, and that's one of the things we're doing here too, is encouraging them to take those samples, find out what their cyst nematode populations are, so at least they can effectively manage them if they need to. The other thing related to cyst nematode, Ken, is that the National Soybean Cyst Nematode Coalition was recently funded, and so there's going to be more resources coming out related to education on that, because nationally we're seeing cyst nematode as a major problem.
This is the 20th anniversary of the Soybean Management Field Days. Let's talk about from your experience and how they've developed, and also why it's important, because it's kind of a unique program around the nation.
This is such a unique program, and I am just in awe that I've had the opportunity to be here for every year of it. So it's been really fun. I grew up in these field days, and it's the best opportunity to connect with farmers and visit with them about what their problems are, show them what we think some of the solutions are to their problems, but then hear what their problems are and what they're dealing with locally, to provide them a source of information locally and data that they can use on their farm that's in the region or close by. So that's been the beauty of the Field Day series. They've jumped around throughout the state, 4 different locations every year, and where it's morphed from not just a site where we do some demonstration work to where we do some now replicated research work for probably the last, I think, 6 years, and that's been a big change. And so now we've went from, okay, here's a demonstration of what you could do, to here's some data to use in your operation to make some decisions.
Always good to see you again. Congratulations.
Thanks so much, Ken. I appreciate it. I'm going to miss doing these.
I'm sure he'll be around. Dr. Loren Giesler, now the new head of plant pathology at UNL, has joined us here at Nebraska Soybean Management Field Days near Kennesaw. For AgView, I'm Ken Rogers.